Good morning. How you doing? You're gonna hear some rain in the background. We're having a horrible, just terrible, catastrophic hurricane in Los Angeles. I'll insert a picture of me from a hurricane from 2011 when I was in Jersey. I've been through like hurricanes, man, on a barrier island on the East Coast where it's like a real hurricane. So far, this is I would call this rain. But we'll see. Could get worse. I hope it doesn't. I hope everybody's okay. I hope there's not a lot of damage and all that good stuff. It's just, the fear factor of it. So listen, yesterday I did a thing. I don't know how some of you will take it. You may like me more. You may like me less. And either way, I don't really care. It was just a fun thing to do. I was on a show, a radio show, with this guy, very nice dude, very gracious, super cool cat man, Magic Matt Allen. I didn't know who he was. I hadn't heard of him before. He was a big time radio guy in the 80s and 90s, and he runs this podcast thing at his house out here in Granada Hills. You smoke cigars, you drink a little, and you just talk. Matt does most of the talking. It's his show. But I had a good time. I came home and I watched it, so I was up kind of late. And, I'm a little off color. Probably got into some things I shouldn't have gotten into. But whatever. It is what it is. I'm me all the time. That's just how that is. It happened because of Wonderhussy. Sarah Jane, our favorite YouTuber, right? Vivacious, sexy, super cool, great smile. And those fellas love her. They love her. And she called in while we were on. She didn't realize I was there at first until several minutes into her being there on the phone. So that was interesting. That was funny. And yeah, it was funny too because afterwards we ate. And I met Kato Kalin. Apparently these guys are all big time poker guys. That's all they care about. They just want to play poker at night. That's not my thing. I'm not a big poker. I don't like gambling. I work hard for my money. I don't want to lose it. I've been around poker a lot when I was a kid. The dudes would come over and my dad would let me sit in and play hands for him. And I did okay actually, But it's just not my thing. And over the years, there were different times when I would play poker from time to time. And I just wanted to relay a quick one because when I came out here to LA, there was this dude I knew. His name was Patrick Michael. He was a character actor. And he invited me to play poker with him one day. This is in the 90s. It was probably around 93. And I ended up playing poker with him and Wayne Knight. Remember... Newman from Seinfeld, and a couple other character actors who were probably well-known people that I don't know. I don't remember now. But I'll tell you what right now. So if you ever have the opportunity to play poker with a bunch of character actors, do that. But know you are paying for the entertainment factor. They are going to take all your money. That's just how it's going to go. So lesson learned. I don't do that anymore. Anyhow, it was a pretty good time. Had a lot of fun. I'm still, more so today because of the cigars I smoked last night. And yeah, I hope you enjoyed. I'm going to put a link to it in the bottom. Afterwards, it was interesting. There's a couple of people who lean more to the left. And I'm not, by the way, I'm not a hardcore righty person. I'm not an overly overt person. I was a bit of a political wonk for quite some time, but I gave it up because it doesn't make me happy to wallow in that and continually talk about it and bitch about it. I'm a man of action. If I can't do anything about it, I don't want to talk about it. You know what I'm saying? There's a limited amount of time I'm going to put into any subject if there's nothing I can do about it. I'm not going to bitch about it, about anything. I don't even bitch about things don't go right in my life all that much, Other than when I'm throwing a business under the bus, it screwed me over. We all know who those people are. This woman came by, a really nice lady. Not She and Matt have, you know, they're polar opposites on the political spectrum, and she made you know it. You know, after he went in to play poker, I was talking to her, and she's one of those people, like all these people who lean pretty, you know, they're on the left of things. They just hate Donald Trump. And here's the thing I explained to her. I'm not trying to get you to like him if you don't. I don't like everything that anybody says. I will point out that if you were to read the autobiographies of leaders, whether it's generals or presidents or kings or queens or whatever, if you get into the nitty-gritty on these people, none of them are perfect. All right, most of them have personality things going on. That you have to have a certain mindset and drive to want to be successful and keep pushing. And when you encounter major losses and problems in your life, stick with it to overcome it again. Right? You have to be that takes a special kind of person. But I will tell you, and this is what I've told everybody on this, if you want to get a good read on Trump, watch the David Letterman interviews on YouTube. Watch them in chronological order. Because Letterman, who's not a fan of Trump, is the guy who's he's largely let me reprogram my mind here. I got a little bit left of this coffee concoction I make every morning. Letterman is largely responsible for Trump's popularity. He was doing like a man on the street thing in Manhattan. I think it was like late 70s, 78, 79, in that range, maybe 80. And he walks by Trump Towers and he says, oh, let's go up there. And they actually go up and they knock on the door, and Trump's working in his office. He sees Letterman, he invites him in, but the whole time he's talking to Letterman, he's on the phone doing deals. You look around his office, there's just stacks of paper everywhere. It's just a working dude. The guy sleeps like 4 or 5 hours a night. Doesn't drink, doesn't do drugs, nothing. He's just a workaholic. Just his mind is a machine constantly. And at the end of the interview, Letterman says, this was fun, maybe we'll have you on again. And you see that sparkle in Trump's eye, you know. And then, as we all know, through the 80s, I'm from Jersey, so Trump was a big part of my life. Letterman had him on all the time. And constantly would bash him, goof on him, mess with him, anything that wasn't going right in his life, he threw it in his face. And Trump would listen to it, you know, good-natured, good sense of humor. And when it was his time to respond, he would, in a coherent, matter-of-fact way, with humor, and explain it. Yeah, here's what happened there. That's what happened there. You know, that whole casino thing that everybody wants to goof on him about, his issue there was he overextended himself, and then the economy went to crap. He didn't control the economy at that time. You know what I'm saying? it was people over here. Well, to you, it's over there. You know what I'm saying? And that whole thing with politicians and him, you know, being a Democrat or one. He's not a Democrat or a Republican. He's just a capitalist. And I'm just explaining these things to her, and how, and she knew this because she was from New York. Once I said a few things, the light bulb, I saw her eyes. Oh crap, he's making sense. You know, whenever you start making sense to one of these people, it's funny. And because I explained to her, I said, who's running the East Coast, man? New York City, New York State, New Jersey, right? Any of those towns, any of the towns where he built these buildings and did his businesses and the casinos and everything else. He had to deal with Democrats. Those were the people he had to grease to get what he wanted. And he would go in and do these deals. He'd say, here's the thing, I want to develop this land. I'm going to put this building in. It's going to create this amount of jobs to build it. Then there's going to be this amount of people living in it or working in it, and all those people pay taxes, and so you are going to greatly benefit from this. And because I'm going to do this, or I want to do this, I don't want to have to pay taxes on it, or I don't want to have to pay taxes on it for 10 years, or whatever. And they would do those deals. And that's one of the biggest reasons why they are scared of him and hate him, because he knows who they are. He knows what the truth is. He had to deal within the system that they created, giving them stuff to get what he wanted. So that's all that is. That's all that's going on there. And it's, you know, I know I turned a gear in her mind, and I love doing that. So to me, almost the best part of the whole evening was having this conversation with this woman at the end of the thing. Anyhow, I'm not like a ardent, I don't care. I don't care anymore. I'm a little demoralized over the whole political thing. I care, but again, there's not going to be a civil war. It's not going to happen. How would you do it anyhow? It's not like people are going to be putting uniforms on. If one side wants to put on a bunch of pink hats, and if the other side wants to, put on all their military gear because, we got 20 million veterans in this country, you got to figure 20 million veterans, there's probably 3 or 4 million of them that are hardcore war fighters. You know what I'm saying? I'm not even thinking about the hunters. What do we got hunters in this country? Like 70 million or something like that? You hear what I'm saying? So there's not going to be a civil war, and if there was one, it wouldn't last too long. So that's not going to happen. The only thing you have that you can do is ridicule, is point out the hypocrisy using logic and facts, and just keep doing that and never let it go. When somebody confronts you on something, don't shy away from the conversation, but control your emotions, man. You can't be emotional in that conversation. You just have to say, well, here's this. They told us this. That wasn't true. They said this, 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 and that. That wasn't true. This was all fake. There's not a real dossier. It wasn't a bat. There's all these things that the laptop was real. Who's the big guy, right? So there's all these things that when they came up, during an election, social media, the mainstream media, all that, they poo-pooed it, trying to make it seem like it was nothing. And now the facts are out, it's all true, but we can't go back and change things. And those actions taken by the media and everything else is why we are where we're at the moment, right? Crazy inflation, terrible gas prices, the world's on fire. I mean, do I need to go on? It's insane. The summer of 2020, where everything was being burnt down. I mean, it's terrible what's going on here. And it's all because we were lied to, and real information, that is the truth, was suppressed. That's a thing. It's a problem. So I tried to get into some of this stuff when it was happening, and it did not help my YouTube at all. So that's one of the reasons why I don't really get into it. Anyhow, this is not something I want to get into, but I'm talking about the moment because of what happened last night, being on his show. I didn't know it was like we get into the politics. He gets into some of the current stuff I really don't care about, like some of the people. I'm going to talk about Britney Spears, but I suppose if you have a show, you have to talk about current events, as mundane as I think they are, and I don't care about any of these people. I guess it's important if you have a show, because some people want to listen to that, and I totally understand it. But I found myself a little bit like, oh, okay, yeah. There's certain things I wouldn't want to talk about in my normal day-to-day interactions with other human beings. But overall, it was pretty fun. I don't know how I came off. I guess I can't really care about it because it's out there now. But who knows? I might do it again. It was a good experience. They might have me back. We ended up talking about SABO quite a bit and his art and my interaction with him, putting up the billboards. I will say, I didn't get to mention, there was a lot of things that they hinted on. First of all, yeah, I'm a Marine veteran, but I didn't fight in any wars as a Marine. And with the SABO thing, I wasn't the only guy that helped him with that. So they were kind of blowing me up a little bit there, and that's not, I can't like try to correct them in that atmosphere. And there's a lot of, his whole thing is we drink, we smoke, and we interrupt. That's 100% accurate. That's exactly, the show should be just called that. We drink, we smoke, we interrupt. I gotta get forceful with when I wanted to try to say something. Anyhow, Matt, if you see this, thank you again. Thank you for being an awesome, super cool guy and gracious. I could fix that side gate for you next time I'm there. I actually had tools in the truck. I could have done it then if I had thought about it. And we'll talk again, hopefully. And for the rest of you watching this, I'll have the link in the description to the video. It's a 3-hour podcast. There's breaks in it. Skip through those, I suppose. You get through it pretty quick. And you will hear Wonderhussy on there. You'll learn a little bit about what I did with the conservative street artist SABO, who's, by the way, the stuff SABO does, it's not like I agree with everything. We were pals, and he paid me. And I like dangerous stuff. So I don't have a problem climbing a billboard, hopping fences, dealing with barbed wire, everything else, 3 o'clock in the morning. You know, I said in the video, I was climbing it like a gorilla. And that's the truth, man. You know, it was like death grip, you know. 30-foot ladders, another 15 feet of hanging steel ladder to get up on a platform that's, 45 feet in the air, climb to the top of that another 20 feet. I mean, it was pretty nuts, a lot of the stuff that we did there. And he was capturing it all on drone footage, which he wants to put a documentary out on it. And when you see that, you'll see. I think one time I was the only guy that climbed the roof with a big thing on my shoulder, totally alone. But there was always somebody else there. And I just wanted to make that clear. I'm not some special person. I'm not some hero, miracle maker, or anything like that, But that's it. Enjoy that. That's the end of this video. Thanks for being here. Have a great day. Be kind to one another. And I hope you guys enjoy this podcast. And you guys can let me know what you think.